Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Merete.
And I'm Henriette. We're from Coop Norway, and we're excited to share how we use 7TAPS to rethink learning in retail through 5 different use cases here today. Coop is Norway's second largest retailer with 1,200 stores, over 28,000 employees, and a cooperative model made up of around 60 local co-ops and 7 different retail chains. Merete and I both have background as frontline workers. I started my career in retail in Coop, actually, and Merete is a nurse. So we know a thing or two about how training typically is the last thing on the to-do list and therefore needs to be quick and practical.
We call the presentation strategies to steal, so feel free to borrow, adapt, or make them your own. To begin with, let's look at why we needed a new approach to e-learning at Coop in the first place. At Coop, we operate in a fast-paced retail environment. We needed learning that could keep up, something that worked for both the store staff and for the specialist in the back office. We needed something quick, visual, and engaging. That's where 7TAPS came in and gave us a new way to reach people. So let's kick off with the first case, a topic that usually doesn't get people very excited, IT security.
Yes, so in most companies, people dread security training. It's boring, it's technical, and it feels irrelevant. So really hard to get people excited. And yet it's absolutely critical. So our IT department had been sending out long text-heavy emails with security training that they bought from a traditional external vendor. And people were tired, they ignored it, completion rates were low, and learning didn't really happen. And spoiler, yes, people still clicked the links that they shouldn't click. So when we reached out to the IT department with some ideas, they were skeptical because security is like it's a serious topic. So, but then they decided to give us a chance. So we redesigned the same content that they had. Didn't really do like any big changes there, and delivered it in a short and visual format using 7TAPS. So we put in elements like polls and narrating to activate the learners, and then something surprising happened. Turns out that people actually do enjoy learning about IT security when it's presented in the right way. So on the slide here, this is some of the feedback we got on the course. We have a rating after each course that people can rate the experience. And here's some of the free-form comments that we got. Like, finally, this is fun. Now I actually get it. This covered everything and surprisingly fun for something about security. So we think that's game-changing. So, Merete, what happened next?
Soon they asked us to scale it, to turn the concept into something that could support learning across the entire year. So we built an annual plan, which you can see on this slide there. Instead of scattered, exhausting email campaigns, we now had a clear roadmap. We knew what to create, when to deliver it, and how to keep it engaging. Each month had its own theme, some playful, some serious, but all tied to key learning goals. This plan helped us stay relevant and consistent. And for IT, this was a win. They got high-quality training content on par with what they expect from external vendors, but with far less effort on their part. And so the rumor spread. Soon our data protection officer reached out, wanting to use the same approach for their own training courses.
Yeah, they actually said when they reached out to us, we want it to be sexy, like the IT course that you created. And we think that's really funny and really surprising, and a good example of how how it can be perceived.
So the key takeaway here is this: sometimes it's not the content that's the problem, it's the format. And when you change the format, you can change the mindset.
And this change in the mindset has been a real game changer for us. And we can now deliver training on a serious topic in a way that actually engages and surprises people, instead of being boring and predictable and something nobody really cares about. So let's move from IT security to something a bit juicier, because we are in retail after all. Coop Mega is one of 5 grocery chains that we support within Coop, and they are especially focused on maintaining a strong, consistent brand expression. They're a very proud brand. The new burger campaign needed some backup, not just in sales, but also in training that looked and felt like part of the campaign. This was a new premium Angus burger, so a pretty big deal. So we combined 7 taps with the Canva to create something that looked and felt like quality, really, with bold visuals and simple storytelling. And the result was a 3-folded increase in burger sales.
Now, was that entirely because of the training? Probably not. But we believe the learning experience played a key role. It helped internal teams understand the campaign, feel proud of it, and confidentially communicate it to customers. So when learning supports a campaign like this, it becomes a part of the sales engine, not just a side note. And that's the power of going the extra mile on design. Even when the message is simple, like sell this burger, how you say it matters. What we learned from this case was when the message is simple, the design must work harder. And when learning and branding align, the impact can be bigger than expected. Investing in visual identity isn't just about looking good, it's about standing out, building trust, and driving action.
And here too, we created engagement by involving the learners. So we asked them to share their favorite tips with their coworkers, what they wanted to learn more about, and then used their inputs to shape a summer learning series. And that was really helpful. So we did learn a lot about our learners too, which is important. So let's move on to our next example. How one course tripled business card signups. Sometimes less is more. We faced a challenge with our Coop business card. Signups were low and awareness was even lower. On paper, we had actually already solved it. There was a full e-learning course on the company card covering everything about supplier collaboration, customer benefits, really all the details, but it didn't fix the problem because it didn't target the real barrier. So as you can see here, this was all it took. When we looked closer, we discovered that the issue wasn't actually knowledge, and this is, I think this happens more than we like to think about. It was behavior. At checkout, employees weren't asking for the customer's phone number, and that one small action triggered everything else. So instead of more theory, we built a new microlearning course. We just scrapped the old one with one crystal clear message. Here's how to ask for the number. And that was it. We had no other campaigns, no posters, no extra push. Like, this was all we did for all the stores, and every brand, like also the hardware builder brand has this card. So we just had this one course with one simple targeted learning experience, and the result was a 300% increase in signups. So
So again, microlearning makes it really easy to focus in on the key message and help you size down and scope out the most important content that makes learning fun and valuable, which is amazing. The key takeaway, when you identify the one action that truly matters, even a small learning moment can have a massive impact. One message, one behavior. Yeah. So let's move on to our next case.
Yes, weekly learning. So this was actually the reason we started using 7TAPS. Campaign learning used to be like a one-time event just for the big seasonal campaigns. We would launch a campaign and then send out some information, and that was it. And then the knowledge didn't stick. People forgot, engagement dropped off, and nobody really remembered or cared, really. So we changed the approach. Instead of one big push, we introduced weekly episodes, short, focused, and easy to engage with. Each one included a follow-up question or a reflection to reinforce the message. And we also, like here too, like they helped us change the content from with each episode. So over time, learning became part of this weekly rhythm. And this kind of consistency, like it's a lot, but it's actually really easy to deliver, because 7TAPS makes it so fast and flexible to create content, even on a tight schedule. So we're building from like each episode is building on the content from last one with their own answers, comments, and polls. So we really have an ongoing two-way interaction with them. So the key takeaway here is that consistency creates momentum, and when learning is delivered regularly in small doses, it does become a part of how people work and not just something. So now they know that when there's a new week, there's a new campaign and a new learning campaign that supports it. And speaking of support, Merete will take us into our next case.
Yes, and in this case, we want to talk about how working with subject matter experts can be challenging. They bring deep expertise, but often have limited time. And because they care deeply about the content, they tend to want to include every detail. And this was exactly the case with our AVS team,
which stands for automatic product replenishment. So a critical business department there.
Yeah. Their knowledge was invaluable, but we quickly realized that to create effective learning, we needed to balance depth with clarity and focus. It's a complex area, and our previous training reflected that. It was long courses, too many video recordings, and lots of supporting material. So we needed a new approach. So we used the microlearning to help the expert focus. The format forced clarity. It helped them strip the content down to what the end user actually needs to know and understand. It's all about supporting the right behavior and enabling people to do the job correctly. That made the training easier to understand and more relevant to the learner. So the key takeaway is this: the format helps expert narrow the content down. It transforms deep knowledge into focused, actionable learning without losing what matters. So, all right, Henriette, let's take a step back and look at what these 5 examples have shown us.
Yes. So the first example with the IT training showed us that, yes, even IT can be sexy, and that focused content drives engagement. A threefolded increase in burger sales proved that visual identity and tone matter, especially in simple messages. 3, design for action. Strip away the noise and target the one behavior that matters, as we saw in the case with Coop business cards, because less is very often more. Create a learning habit and let learners help you shape the content they need as you go along. With weekly campaign training, gives us the opportunity to stay in the loop and get people involved. And then last but not least, simplifying the format helps experts narrow the content down to what matter and what is actually important.
As we can see, it's all about changing the format, going the extra mile on design, daring to keep it small, shifting the rhythm, and help experts simplify what they already know. These principles have helped us stop creating training nobody cares about, and instead of create learning that gets the attention and engagement needed to actually make change happen. Yeah.
So those were our 5 examples. We have lots of more if you want to connect with us and talk more about it. And if you found something that worth borrowing, adapting, or feel free. For us, 7 Taps and Microlearning has been a great way to meet people where they are with busy lives and all that's going on, with learning that actually fits into their day, so it's manageable. So thank you so much for listening, and a big thank you to the 7 Taps team for letting us share our story.
This was awesome. This was truly, I loved, even though I was a little laggy in the beginning, I'm back to normal now. So first of all, everybody, can we get a round of emojis for that? I love the diversity of the different examples you used, and I love the way you're using it for different purposes, including deep training, compliance, IT type training, and then even just communication and messaging type stuff. I think it shows the diversity of when you figure out what problem you're trying to solve, then you can design something to close that gap. One of the consistent questions that came up a lot, I think that probably a lot of people face in a retail environment, was with the employees, do they have company devices? And there were questions about our people don't have email addresses, or they may not have a company device. How did you work around that? How did you actually get people to access stuff?
That's a great question. So in our case, we actually do have an e-learning portal, but we have also used it for different events where we just created QR codes with links and stuff, so they can access it that way.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. That's cool. So did that get sent out? Did you have it in the store? Was it up by the counters? So you had both the technical company way people could get to it, and then there was also they could on their individual device if they want to just scan it.
Yeah, so we have a mobile first policy, and we have this LMS that have an app. So learning is naturally integrated to the work life. In stores. Yes.
Very cool. And then one of the other ones that came up, so you talk about the fact each week it sounds like you're doing new things, which is that something that you advertise? How do people know about it? I mean, I'm guessing over time they've kind of gotten used to it, but do you have to push people to it, or do you find people just kind of by default are going now and looking up this stuff?
That's a great question. So we because we have this e-learning system that we put the courses in, and is where they access the courses. So a new episode is like released each week. So now it's become like people are logging in to see, okay, I think that there's something new now. And also to pair it with like the seasonal, like the flow of the working life or the life in a store is pretty much that new week, that then there is something new going on too. And then we kind of like put the two things together, that like, yeah, but when there's a new thing going on in the store, like look go in and see that there might be a new learning campaign there too. So yeah. And we have also different channels like Viva, Engage, and Teams, and the intranet.
So like in terms of the topic, because this is a good question for this, is that something that you and your team, are you identifying what these topics are? Or is this something you're partnering with the business team to say, hey, what are the important factors or things like that? And then I'm assuming you build kind of a list of like, these are the topics that might be coming up.
Yeah, so we have like a default, like a general list of topics. And we are trying to like our wish is to get them to be more like, yeah, but here's the problem we see. But it's much easier for us to like see, like get them to talk about it, and then we can try to identify like the need, because it is we do find that people tend to really love just some general information, like I want to say this and like tell you about this, and then not it's hard to get people like targeted enough. Like,
are you suggesting that subject matter experts and business leaders don't have it all figured out, and they don't come to you fully prepared with everything you need? That's so outrageous.